Women's History Month is a time dedicated to celebrating the contributions, achievements, and struggles of women throughout history. It's an opportunity to honor the trailblazers who have shattered glass ceilings, challenged societal norms, and fought for gender equality. With that being said, here is my top 10 favorite Oklahoma women that have made their own contribution. In no particular order, here we go. The first lady up is Kate Bernard. Kate was a pioneering social reformer and politician who dedicated her life to advocating for the rights and welfare of Oklahoma's marginalized populations, particularly women, children, and workers. Kate Bernard began her career in social reform in her early 20s. She moved to Oklahoma Territory in 1897, where she worked as a teacher and later became involved in various charitable organizations. In 1907, when Oklahoma was admitted to the Union as the 46th state, Kate Bernard made history by becoming the first woman elected to statewide office in Oklahoma, and the second female state official in the entire United States. She was elected as the Oklahoma Commissioner of Charities and Corrections, a position that put her in charge of overseeing welfare institutions, prisons, and charitable organizations. As commissioner, Bernard implemented numerous reforms aimed at improving better treatment of prisoners, established juvenile courts, and fought against child labor. Kate's efforts earned her a widespread recognition and respect as a tireless champion of social justice. Bernard's contributions to the advancement of women's rights, labor rights, and social welfare in Oklahoma earned her a place of honor in the state's history. In the number 2 spot is Ada Lois Sipule Fisher, who became a prominent civil rights activist and attorney known for her pivotal role in the desegregation of higher education in the United States. Ada was born on February 8, 1924 in Chickasha, Oklahoma. She grew up in a segregated society where racial discrimination was pervasive, but she excelled academically despite the challenges she faced. Fisher attended the all-black Douglas High School in Oklahoma City, where she graduated as class valedictorian in 1942. Initially after high school graduation, Ada enrolled at Arkansas A&M College in Pine Bluff. After 1 year, she transferred to Langston University in September 1942, majoring in English, but she dreamed of becoming a lawyer. On May 21, 1945, Ada Lois Sipule Fisher graduated from Langston University with honors. Langston University did not have a law school, and state statute prohibited African American students from attending white state universities. In 1946, Ada applied to the University of Oklahoma Law School with the intention of becoming a lawyer. She was denied admission solely because of her race, as the university maintained a policy of racial segregation at the time. Fisher, supported by the NAACP Legal Defense Fund and led by renowned attorney Thurgood Marshall, decided to challenge the university's discriminatory policy in court. Sipule versus the Board of Regents of the University of Oklahoma made its way to the United States Supreme Court. In a landmark decision in 1948, the Supreme Court ruled unanimously that the University of Oklahoma must admit Ada to its law school. This decision marked a significant victory in the struggle against the segregation and laid the groundwork for future challenges to racial discrimination in education. After successfully desegregating the University of Oklahoma Law School, Ada went on to graduate in 1951 with a law degree. She became the first African American woman to attend and graduate from the university's law school. Ada Lois Sipule Fisher's legacy lives on as a symbol of courage, perseverance, and the power of individuals to effect positive change in society. Her landmark legal victory remains a testament to the ongoing struggle for civil rights and the equality for all. Number 3 is Mary Alice Robertson, affectionately known as Miss Alice. During World War I, she provided canteen service to local troops in what was the start of the Muskogee chapter of the American Red Cross. Mary also helped recruit men for Theodore Roosevelt's Rough Riders. Robertson was the first woman elected to Congress from Oklahoma. She served in the United States House of Representatives from 1921 to 1923. She was the first woman to defeat an incumbent representative in a general election. Robertson became the first woman to preside over the House chamber on June 20, 1921. Mary Alice was America's first female postmaster of a Class A post office. Mary Alice was known for her strong personality, commitment to Native American issues, and her anti-feminist stance. Robertson voted against bills funding maternity and child care on the grounds that they were unwarranted governmental intrusion on personal rights. Miss Alice sounds like she was a lady well ahead of her time. Number 4 is a group of Native American women known as the Five Moons. The Five Moons American ballerinas from Oklahoma achieved international recognition during the 20th century. Rosella Hightower of Choctaw heritage, Moseline Larkin of member of the Shawnee Peoria tribe, Yvonne Choteau of Shawnee and Cherokee heritage, and sisters Marjorie and Maria Tallchief, members of the Osage Nation. Each one of these dancers performed with the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo before going on to have incredible careers on the stage with major companies like New York City Ballet, American Ballet Theatre, and the Paris Opera Ballet. Their influence continues to inspire, and their legacies have left a huge imprint on the history of ballet. Rosella Hightower received fame in both the United States and Europe, and later enjoyed a career as an instructor and opera director. Oklahoma City Ballet has been the city's professional ballet company since 1972, when it was founded by Yvonne Choteau and her husband Miguel Turkov. The story of Tulsa Ballet began in 1956. Husband and wife Roman Jasinski and Moseline Larkin and musician Rosalie Talbot founded Tulsa Ballet Theater, blending classical dance with dramatic theater. Marjorie Tallchief was the first Native American to be named Première Danseuse Étoile, which means principal dancer in the Paris Opera Ballet. Elizabeth Marie Tallchief was an American ballerina. She was considered America's first prima ballerina. She was the first Native American to hold the rank, and it is said to have revolutionized ballet. The 5 American ballerinas grace stages with their mesmerizing dance, weaving together tradition, artistic beauty, and a bit of magic. Their careers still influence dancers today. You can see their portrait hanging in the Oklahoma State Capitol building in the Rotunda area. Number 5 is one of my personal favorites, Geraldine or Jerry Cobb. I learned about this fascinating lady when I wrote a paper about her in college. I ordered her book for my paper and received an autographed copy of her book, which I still have today. Jerry first flew at the age of 12 in her father's open cockpit 1936 Waco biplane. After earning her private pilot's license at 16, she was barnstorming around the Great Plains in a Piper J3 Cub, dropping leaflets over little towns announcing the arrival of circuses. With the return of many qualified male pilots after World War II, Cobb had to take less sought-after jobs such as patrolling pipelines and crop dusting. Jerry earned her multi-engine, instrument, flight instructor, and ground instructor ratings, as well as her airline transport license. In 1953, she was employed by Fleetway Incorporated, ferrying war surplus aircraft to various air forces and civilian aircraft enterprises, including to the Peruvian Air Force. At a fueling stop in Ecuador, she was arrested for suspected espionage. Yikes. Jerry set 3 world aviation records: the 1959 world record for nonstop long-distance flight, the 1959 world light plane speed record, and a 1960 world altitude record for lightweight aircraft of 37,010 feet. Cobb became the first woman to fly in the 1959 Paris Air Show, the world's largest air exposition. Her fellow pilots named her Pilot of the Year and awarded her the Amelia Earhart Gold Medal of Achievement. I feel Jerry got robbed of her destiny to be the first woman in space because of discrimination. In May 1961, NASA Administrator James Webb appointed Cobb as a consultant to the NASA space program. Cobb successfully completed all 3 stages of physical and psychological evaluation that were used in choosing the first 7 Mercury astronauts. Cobb ranked in the top 2% of all astronaut candidates of both genders, including scoring better than John Glenn. In 1962, Cobb was called to testify before a congressional hearing, the Special Subcommittee on the Selection of Astronauts, about female astronauts. Cobb failed to rally support in Congress for adding women to the astronaut program. A few months later, the Soviet Union put Valentina Tereshkova, the first woman, into space. Cobb then began over 30 years of missionary work in South America, transporting supplies to indigenous tribes. Cobb pioneered new air routes across the hazardous Andes Mountains and Amazon rainforest, using self-drawn maps that guided her over uncharted territory larger than the United States. Jerry was honored by the Brazilian, Colombian, Ecuadorian, French, and Peruvian governments. In 1981, Cobb was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for her humanitarian work. Talk about an interesting life. The lady in the number 6 position is Lucille Mulhall. She was a renowned American pioneer cowgirl and rodeo performer. She was born in St. Louis, Missouri in 1885 and raised on a ranch in Oklahoma. Mulhall gained widespread recognition for her exceptional riding and roping skills at a young age, becoming known as the first cowgirl. She performed in rodeos across the United States and Europe, showcasing her talents in events such as bronc riding, steer roping, and trick riding. It is said that Teddy Roosevelt, after seeing her ride at the Mulhall Ranch, Roosevelt told Lucille if she could rope a wolf, he would invite her to his inaugural parade. She came back 3 hours later, dragging a dead wolf behind her. Mulhall's achievements shattered gender norms of her time, as she competed alongside men and often outperformed them. She gained fame for her daring stunts, including riding horses standing up and jumping onto horses from moving automobiles. In addition to her rodeo career, Mulhall was also an advocate for women's rights and empowerment. She challenged traditional gender roles and inspired many women to pursue their passions in male-dominated fields. Lucille's legacy as a trailblazing cowgirl and rodeo performer endures today, and she is remembered as one of the pioneers who helped shape the sport of rodeo and break barriers down for women in the early 20th century. Yeehaw! Way to go, Lucille! The next trailblazer is Clara Luper. Luper was an influential American civil rights activist, educator, and leader in the struggle for racial equality. She is best known for her pivotal role in organizing sit-in protests during the civil rights movement in the United States. In 1958, Luper organized one of the earliest sit-in protests in the United States at Katz Drug Store in Oklahoma City. Along with a group of African-American students, she challenged the store's policy of refusing service to black customers at its lunch counter. The sit-in attracted national attention and marked a significant moment in the civil rights movement. Following the success of the sit-in, Luper continued to lead protests and demonstrations advocating for desegregation and equal rights. Clara played a key role in desegregating public accommodations in Oklahoma City. In addition to her activism, Clara Luper was also an educator, teaching history and government in Oklahoma City public schools for many years. She instilled a sense of pride and empowerment in her students, encouraging them to stand up for justice and equality. Clara Luper's dedication to the civil rights movement and her tireless efforts to combat racism and injustice have left a lasting legacy. Clara is remembered as a fearless leader who inspired countless individuals to work towards a more just and equitable society. This is a great way to segue to number 9, Wilma Mankiller. Wilma Mankiller was an activist, community leader, and the first woman elected principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. She was born in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, and grew up in a community deeply connected to Cherokee traditions and culture. Mankiller's leadership journey began in the 1970s when she became involved in activism within the Cherokee community, particularly focusing on issues of tribal governance, healthcare, and education. She played a significant role in establishing community programs aimed at improving the quality of life for Cherokee people. In 1985, Wilma made history when she was elected as the principal chief of the Cherokee Nation, becoming the first woman to hold this position. During her 10 years in office, Mankiller implemented various initiatives aimed at promoting economic development, healthcare, education, and cultural preservation within the Cherokee Nation. She prioritized community building and worked to strengthen ties between the Cherokee Nation and other Native American tribes. Mankiller's leadership style emphasized collaboration, inclusivity, and grassroots participation. She sought to empower Cherokee citizens to take an active role in shaping the future of their nation. Under her leadership, the Cherokee Nation experienced significant social and economic progress, earning Mankiller widespread admiration and respect. I would like to think the woman at number 10 was probably influenced somewhat by Jerry Cobb. The next woman to make the list is Shannon Lucid. Shannon Lucid is an American biochemist and former NASA astronaut who holds the record for the longest duration stay by an American in space and by a woman worldwide. Born on January 14, 1943, in Shanghai, China, Lucid's family later moved to Oklahoma where she grew up. Lucid joined NASA in 1978 as a part of the first class of astronaut candidates to include women. She flew in 5 space shuttle missions. Lucid's most notable mission, however, was her long-duration stay aboard the Russian space station Mir. In 1996, Lucid became the first American woman to live and work aboard Mir, spending 188 days in space during her stay from March to September. This record-breaking mission allowed her to conduct numerous scientific experiments and medical studies, contributing valuable data to our understanding of long-duration space flight's effects on the human body. Throughout her career, Lucid has received numerous accolades for her contribution to space exploration and scientific research. She retired from NASA in 2012 after a distinguished career spanning over 3 decades. Shannon Lucid's achievements have not only advanced our knowledge of space, but also inspired generations of women aspiring astronauts to pursue careers in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields. She remains a celebrated figure in the history of space exploration. I will throw in bonus content of Oklahoma ladies that have contributed to making the world a better place by sharing their incredible talents with the world. Have it. Many wonderful ladies that were born, raised, or have Oklahoma ties. Happy Women's History Month. Until next time, bye for now.